I think I know what you mean. The tango Maureen. Okay, am I back?
Yeah, you are back, yes. For some weird reason, putting you on my speakers made you come through my headphones. I don't know. My computer is slowly having a meltdown.
I mean, yes. Joel unearthed a massive computer, like a real computer, for me, I think today or sometime. So I think that I might be able to start editing on, our editing problems might be coming to an end.
Oh, I hope so, because my computer had a meltdown and I ended up just having to do it on my MacBook last time. So I don't know what happened. I had a whole journey. It was quite a journey. It was like me. So I luckily had edited it on my phone, but I could get it onto my, whole thing. Anyhow, but it was posted, so that was all that mattered.
It was posted, yes. So welcome everyone. Hello, welcome to Book Witches with a B. Hi. I'm Orja.
I'm Colleen.
And we are coming to you from a sick week because, as my voice gives out, I was pretty ill. So we could not record on time. But I worked through it literally because I processed payroll, so I couldn't take the days off, and here I am. But it did give me the chance to reread these chapters as I did my chapter recap, which I think was important because I did catch stuff I missed on my first read through. So shall we just get into it? We're doing chapter recap for the dawn of the Kingdom of Ravens and chapters 35 through 37.
I think that looks
better. I mean, this just kills me. We were
having some lighting fun earlier. It's been a joy.
It's so fun.
I think it's mostly the shirt, to be honest with you. We somehow wore the exact same shade of green.
Casual.
Today.
Did you wear that to work today?
I did.
I did also wear this to work today.
If we worked together, we would have matched, which we did oddly frequently when we did work together.
But the funniest thing is, we did match, but we also had the same outfit that we never wore at the same time, somehow.
On the same time.
Yep. Yeah.
And we wore it frequently.
We did.
It's fine.
It's fun stuff. So yeah, chapter recap.
Woo!
Okay, so the dawn of the Kingdom of Ravens, as told in the diaries of Priestess Nomu. Basically, we get the real story of how Alibor created Ravens. In a pretty brutal scene, he kills one of his daughters in front of the other. He carves out her heart and buries it in the sand. The daughter somehow is placated by the fact that he says that they're going to be forgiven, but I don't know, man, that's rough. And it ends with this is actually something that Anna was revealing to Jasmine, and she says that the next page is torn out, and she's not sure if it's because the priestess Nomu discovered the truth that it wasn't the phoenix who smiled upon Alibor and told him to cut his daughter's heart out, but some darker god, and that is basically it. If you want to read it, you should go read the book, because
it's so good.
It's really good. Yeah. Okay,
Aparna,
chapter.
If you ever see this.
Yeah, Aparna, good job. We're big fans. Chapter 35, from Alina's point of view. The night when Alibor Ravens built his kingdom, it is said that men feasted on starlight, for it was Alibor Ravens who brought the heavens closer to Sion, who brought the power and the mystique of the phoenix into a real, solid hearth. The desert may be unforgiving, but it was spun from stardust, and to stardust it will go, from the legends and myths of Sion. So Alina and Yasin, Alina and Yasin have been roaming the desert for 2 days.
Casual.
I will say a lot does happen in these chapters, but also not a lot at the same time.
This is the I think it's the second Lord of the Rings movie where it's just what is it, the 7th Harry Potter movie? It's just one long camping trip.
Yeah,
that's kind of the vibe.
Yep, that is exactly it. So they've been in the desert for 2 days. They can see flames in the distance. Ravens is under attack, and no one is coming to find them. Alina wonders if the Arohasin had taken the throne or were just causing chaos, and wonders idly about the marigolds in the throne room and whether they're still being taken care of. She's dealing with her grief and the shock of her mother's letter and the true story of the making of Ravens, wondering if that's the true reason the phoenix has forsaken her now. Elena and Yasin try to find water as they are interrupted by the arrival of scouts, Janthari scouts, and they manage to run and hide behind a boulder, random, and then witness two hover spots of specialized Janthari soldiers marching towards Rani and Ravens. They're metal men, like the Cybermen in Doctor Who. That's all I could think of.
That was way more cyber than I was thinking of. That's
No,
interesting.
I know that they're actually cyborgs, not like Cybermen, but in my mind, like I don't know why.
No, I like the idea of a Cyberman.
Yeah.
I love Doctor Who. So
me too. But yeah, they're like half metal and it's horrifying. So, you know, casual.
Ouch.
Alina asks Yasin if he knew this also was going to happen. Apparently he did. And she starts like slapping him and like beating him with her fists and kicking him and asking how could you do this? Like how could he betray her so badly? All he can say is he's sorry, he wished he hadn't, and he's sorry that when the time came, he could not let her die or deliver her to the Janthari king. And Alina realizes that although he betrayed her, he's also now the only reason that she's still alive. So, you know, like she's dealing with this very legitimate anger, and I think he's not blaming her for it. He is also like, yes, very legitimate. All I can say is I'm sorry. But she's also dealing with like he's also the only thing she has left of her life. So Yasin tells Alina that she should hide and recover and heal so that she can go back and save Ravens. He tells her that Samson left him a hover pod with a map to one of the bases where the black scales likely remain. Alina asks Yasin to prove his loyalty. He says that he has no more secrets and is loyal to her, and if she doesn't believe him, she should just shoot him, but she doesn't. Instead, she says that she asks him to prove his loyalty by taking the desert oath to her, and he does so. He like thinks about it for a second. He's like, yeah, sure, and he does it.
He's had so many oaths at this point. They're overlapping.
There is no hard line between the servant and the sinner. There is only a soft blur, a delicate edge in which a man can lose himself, from the diaries of the priestess Nomu of the Fire Order. And this is in Yasin's point of view. So they're walking. They sleep by day, walk by night, carrying on towards Janthar, where they will be able to find the cabin and the tunnels leading to Samson's base. I guess what I did forget to mention is Yasin is like, I think some of his black scales are probably there. And Alina was like, you don't think he took all of them? And he was like, do you really think he did, even though he said he did? And she's like, I don't know what to believe. And that's when he's like, you can believe me. And she's like, that's a joke. And he's like, no, I can believe you know all my secrets now.
Yeah, he's like, I don't have any more. And she's like, uh-huh. You sure? I don't believe you.
So Yasin's arm is getting worse, and he imagines that he can feel the infection spreading through him like a sickness. It's now been a week since passing the Janthari army, so it's been 9 days total since the whole fiasco. As they walk, Yasin wonders if Samson has burned too. He apologizes, like in his head, he's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't tell you sooner. He's like, if Samson died, it's his own fault. Not totally wrong about that.
Yeah.
Yasin wonders if Akaros had already found the wounded Arahasan agents that Yasin took out, and thinks that maybe if he loses his arm, that'll make up for all of the destruction he's caused. His, like, arm is just, like, in such pain. He's like, well, if I lose the arm, it's probably, you know.
It's, like, almost non-functional at this point, I think. It's rough, bless him.
It's bad. Alina shouts to him from the top of a dune, and he goes, and then they use military code to communicate, which I thought was really interesting. Mm-hmm. She's like signaling him like there's danger 2 miles to the north, stay here. Then they see a cruiser coming, and they're all ready to ambush the cruiser and kill the scout. And then they realize that it's not a scout, but it's a kid, like 12 or 13 years old. Yasin still wants to get rid of him. He knows from experience that even kids can be dangerous, having already been an Arahasan, like, cadet sort of at that age.
Soldier. Yeah.
He ends up deciding to question him after realizing that he's just a kid who's smuggling goods out of the desert to sell back home, which is apparently illegal, but also he recognizes it as a desperate means of survival. They learn from the kid that Rani has fallen. Everyone thinks that Alina is dead and her people are fighting back, and he confirms that Samson is dead. They then threaten the kid, telling him to help them get into Genthar or Yasin will just kill him now. The boy's name is Cyan, I think. Cyan?
I didn't listen to it, so I don't know, but I'm going to say
How did
sure.
you pronounce it in your head?
Was it
C-I-A-N?
So I was thinking Kian, but I think that's more of a Gaelic pronunciation, so I don't know if that would be like a Cian, but like a Kian.
I have no clue.
I don't either.
Well, shoot. I'm going to say Cian because that's how I read it.
That's okay.
I did listen to it, cannot tell you, because I read it through when I was writing the notes, so I don't know. He agrees to help. He opens up a secret tunnel, and they speed on his cruiser until they hit a wall with a ladder, which they climb up. This leads to the shacks or slums of Genthar. Everyone is asleep, and they quietly follow the kid to the main road that leads to a hover train platform. He agrees to keep quiet about the whole business. Alina squeezes his hand and is like, be careful out there. And then Yasin tells Alina to wait for him and goes back to find the kid, presumably to get rid of any loose ends. He ends up just scaring the ever-living hell out of the kid. Instead of killing him, he sees himself in Cyan. Kian.
Whatever sounds best to you.
Nothing sounds good to me. It's fine. Good thing we're done with him. He finds Alina on the train platform, watching a holo above the ticket booth, running news about Robbins. So they've taken the Arohasan have taken the Chand Mahal, which is Samson's palace.
Which is sad.
They're ransacking it. Then they're also running reports that Samson is the one who helped the Arohasan terrorists take Robbins. Alina and Yasin are both like, that is such a lie. Well, Yasin said it's a lie.
I feel like the Arohasan doesn't tell him things, I'll be honest. I don't know. There's literally a note where I'm like, I'm a little suspicious. And I think it was on that section. I was like, oh no, I'm a little suspicious.
Well, anyways, Yasin's really mad about it. Then King Farin has declared war against both the Black Scales and the Arohasan, in addition to invoking his claim over Robbins, now that the royal family has been assassinated. Alina asks what he did with... Damn it, it's in here one more time. Alina asks what he did with the kid. Yasin had... and then... he's kind of like, oh, here, take this visor. He evades the question, gives her the extra visor, and she's like, is this the kid's? And then she realizes Yasin didn't kill the kid, and she's like, why? And Yasin just says he admits he reminds me of someone I used to know. Then the hover train arrives and they board. Chapter 37.
Oh, this one's really sad.
I know. Distance makes the heart grow fonder, but what of the eyes? Do they show the sorrow of our parting? From a Sione folklore ballad. Chapter 37, again from Alina's point of view. The trip to the sonar range is going to take 3 days, so by the time they reach the sonar range, it will have been about 12 days since the ransacking and the fire and all of that. On one of their stops, once the hoverpod is fully busy, Yasin steps off to get some provisions, and Alina has an encounter with a woman and a worker arguing over the empty seat next to her that she's saving for Yasin. She almost loses the seat. They're telling her it's not fair for her to save it, but then Yasin comes back just in time to put it to rest. She thanks Yasin for handling the conflict for her. They're finding common ground again. The hover train stops at the next station and the crowd leaves, giving them space, and Alina asks about the cabin they're going to. It was Yasin's father's cabin. They speak about his father. He taught Yasin how to navigate the tunnels underneath the mountain and said that those tunnels were only made to harbor secrets. He then tells Alina about the legendary metal that is fine enough to cut steel. He doesn't think the Genthari have found it, but he admits that Samson was trying to find it as well. Suddenly, Alina remembers Samson's fury at Farin um, and asks Yasin if he told him to go to the cabin to find the ore. Yasin's a bit confused because he's Yasin, and he's like, well, he told me to go to the cabin, but to rest, not to find the ore. Alina does not believe Samson's motivations anymore.
Alina's like, that was the part where I was like, I'm a little nervous. That was the part that I wrote the note. I was like,
she asks Yasin if he can find it, and he says no, it's in the past, and he wants to break free from his past. Alina is not happy with the answer, but does not push. As they continue on their journey, Alina realizes that she's hated the Janthari her whole life, but they're really just regular people like her own. She's like, they're actually quite mundane. I was raised to believe they're like metal monsters. They're not. They're just regular people. And so they're at a hover train platform waiting for the next train that they have to catch when she sees some pretty gruesome footage on a hollow hanging from above. Trigger warning. The Arahasin are dragging what appears to be a charred body behind them, claiming that it's Leo. Alina loses it for a minute, but Yasin calms her down by going through the logic. Leo was gone. He was literally devoured by the flames, and there's no way they could have recovered his body. There's also no crown, which was also right by him and also devoured by the fire, so it could not possibly actually be Leo. She sees the logic. The Arahasin had used a decoy to make a point. Then the reporter announces that Farin has decreed that all Ravani within Janthar must present themselves to the authorities, either willingly or by force. They're almost caught out by a guard, but Yasin is able to smooth things over with his ambiguous looks, claiming he's Nabruian, and a bribe. And Alina realizes that the Ravani are being rounded up. She thinks how she could burn the whole kingdom to the ground, and Yasin sees her look as well, but he tells her to remember why she's there, to rest and to fight another day. She calms the fire within her, the tiny flame that had built in her palm going out. She can like full on control. She's firebending.
Yeah, fully.
Fully.
Yep.
On the third day, they reached the Sona Range. It would be beautiful if not for the massive mining rigs standing out across the mountains. Alina's keeping watch while Yasin sleeps, and she takes a moment as they're approaching the train station to stare at him and appreciate how beautiful he is.
Pretty man.
I wrote LOL in all caps.
Valid. I mean, just like my world fell apart. Might as well.
Yeah. It feels very rom-com-y.
Yeah, we're having a train sequence. Yeah.
The train montage where they fall in love. As they approach the station, she has to wake him up, and he wakes up, and then, like, I wrote, rather sensually wipes an eyelash from her cheek.
He does. There's a lot
of touching. He reaches up and like touches her cheek, and it's like a lingering touch, and she's like, "Oh my god!" But it's just an eyelash. Again, we're in full rom-com mode right now.
Also, I definitely don't think it was an eyelash. I think he was just pretending like it was one.
It was an eyelash. She sees it.
Oh, boring.
Yeah. He tells her to make a wish, and she wishes for them to survive. She notices Yasin cradling his arm and asks if he's in pain, to which he says, always. And I wrote in parentheses, same bro.
Honestly, after my day, which I talked about earlier, yeah.
Yeah. They stop by a merchant, get mistaken for a couple, because of course they do, because we're in the rom-com section, and then buy 2 jackets to guard against the mountain air. They discuss brush fires happening due to the mining, and then ask about a place to rent Brenny, which I'm assuming are the equivalent of horses or ponies or something.
I was envisioning like a camel.
I was too, but they're in the mountains.
Yeah, so like donkeys?
Maybe donkeys.
Donkey. Because he said they're smaller than horses.
Okay, donkey would make sense.
Yeah.
And the merchant tells them to keep their visors on tight. Apparently, the mines have been, quote, flashing lately, and they blinded a girl just last week. They also find out that soldiers are being stationed in the city soon to bring home a load of material that they've mined. Alina is reeling over all of this and brings up again the idea that Samson really intended Yasin to come to his cabin to find the special ore and use it against Janthar. And Yasin again brushes her off, telling him that it doesn't matter now, Samson's dead, and they need to get her somewhere safe. They reach the barn and rent the Brenny. They ask for a month, but are only able to take them for 2 weeks because apparently the soldiers hit the mother load and will need all the pack animals they can find to transport back to base, which throws Alina into even more of a tailspin.
Yeah.
Yasin buys a bunch of supplies. Apparently, it pays to be an assassin.
Come on. He doesn't spend money.
Yeah. They mount the Brenny, and Yasin makes Alina promise that she'll do everything he tells her to do. If he tells her to hide, she hides, run, she runs, etc. She asks what happens if she needs to leave him behind. He says she must leave him, and the thought saddens her. So she tells him that he took the oath. For better or for worse, he stuck with her, and they ride on. Which brings us to the end of chapter 37.
Woo! Again, a lot happens and nothing kind of happens
Also,
all at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a montage.
It is a montage. Yeah, it's like a cutscene. A little cutscene montage.
So, shall we discuss?
Let's go.
Let's go. Section superlatives.
Woo!
Okay. Drama queen of the section. I will state, I think that it's a little rude to name anyone a drama queen in this section.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
That's why I was like, I don't know.
But I would say the Arohasan, if anyone, they're just like causing mass chaos, parading around.
It's true.
Proving that they are not actually working towards anything. They just want chaos.
Correct. I was thinking them or like the lady that sold them the fur coats. She kind of feels
very
like she's
much
just
so.
Kind of living her life. But the like for you and your like I don't know, that was the closest like lighthearted bit. So that was kind of that would be the closest. Or the man that yelled on the train because you can't save a seat.
Oh my gosh, that guy. That guy's the drama queen. Yeah, that guy's definitely the drama queen.
Yeah.
Hands down. I love that. And then craziest thing to happen.
Personally, because I wasn't expecting it, was the fake body that they were dragging to the city that they talked about. Like everything else kind of made logical sense to me, but I wasn't expecting that when it was happening. So.
I was thinking about that too. I was also extremely surprised that they just went. I mean, the entirety of this, upon my first reading, the entirety of these 3 chapters, I was like, what do you mean they just go to Janthar?
I thought that the first time I was like, she's just leaving?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't really know what she's supposed to do, but like, they don't look for Samson. They don't. But I was like, they assume he's dead. So I guess like, I guess
there's nothing else to do. But I was just like, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I get why they do it, and I don't blame them, but I was surprised. Like, I expected them to run like out to the desert to like get away from the destruction, but I wasn't expecting them to just be like pretty deep in Janthar.
Very deep, yeah.
Yeah, they're not like on the border. They are in.
They're like in Janthar, yeah. 3 days journey.
3 days. Yeah, 3-day journey. Yeah, I was like, okay.
I mean, if you're thinking about it in terms of like Eurorail, a 3-day journey would take you from Eastern Europe to Western Europe.
Yeah, I was like, that's a long.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I was able to get like across, I guess we were in South France, but like into Italy pretty far in like 3 or 4 hours. Like it wasn't hard. So, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. I mean, that's even longer than it would take. I guess if you're going by train, it could take forever to get from one end of the United States to the other. But American infrastructure is also crumbling. So, you know.
It's fine. We're not built for rail rides currently.
Yeah, I wish we were, but that's okay. Okay. I like it. Well, Miss Colleen.
It's my corner. I do. I have kind of like a loose idea. So we can go.
Let's do it.
I'm going back to my faith conversation a little bit because there's a little bit of faith questioning in this section, and I think it's an interesting topic. Could be a bit of a hard topic, we'll warn. But I made a note about it because I thought it was interesting. So this is like, she's like processing that like her kingdom is crumbling down and all of this is happening. And the quote, it says, "The one she had sworn to serve, the one who had promised to protect her," and Lena looked at the dark sky. "Where are you now?" Basically. And so I made a note of,
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the hardest parts about faith, is when you have your, when like you have to question your, or you can question your faith, because something isn't the result that you wanted, or it's like
Mm-hmm.
a dark result. And for a lot of people, that is why they choose to walk away from faith. At least in
Mm-hmm.
my experience, when I talk to people of why they've decided to not have a faith journey or why they're against faith, it's always been like, well, there's so much evil in the world. And I was like, well, yeah, but that was,
Sure.
depending on the faith, the promise was not that the world would be perfect. That was
Yeah.
never. But a lot of people struggle, which I don't think the Phoenix is necessarily considered like a benevolent um entity. So I think that's a little bit different. Like that
Yeah,
doesn't
I
seem
guess
to
that's true.
be, well, I think it might actually be the version that we see in this story doesn't seem to be like a, like all loving, peaceful
Mm-hmm.
kind of vengeance. Seems to
What
be
is it?
the
The Old Testament God as opposed to the New Testament.
kind of, yeah, actually, yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot of yeah, destruction of kingdoms and cities in the Old
Mm-hmm.
Testament, definitely. New Testament is softer in a way, and not in others. It's the forgiveness section of it, so it's different.
Yeah.
But I think I thought it was interesting that there was a time taken to be like, I, because I've been there. Like I've had bumps or like things in the world feel like they're on fire, and I'm like, where are you? Right? Like you're just having
Mm-hmm.
this moment where you kind of have to wrestle, and it is a little bit of a make or break situation with whether you continue with faith or you
Mm-hmm.
decide that maybe that's not something you want um to do, and that's really hard. And I think Alina, not only having to go through like the physical grief of her father dying and her kingdom crumbling, and like learning this thing about the Phoenix, which is also like, yeah, the thing that she's bit, that's also has to be part of the thing that she thought she was worshiping this whole time maybe isn't what she thought it was.
Yeah.
And like all of that happening on top of also this like questioning of, which she's kind of done all along, but like
Mm-hmm.
questioning of her faith, I think is a really interesting idea.
I think you bring that a good point. Especially I'm interested to see how her journey continues because
Mm-hmm.
as you said, when people face hardships or periods of darkness, that I mean, yeah, that's like the make or break whether they continue to have faith or they stop having faith. And I think for her, it's a little more complicated because she's been fighting to have faith this whole time.
Yeah, she
And
wants to, I
she
think.
wants to have faith. But was it Samson who said it or Yasin who said, "You're the most faithful person I know"?
It was Yasin, I think,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, which she
Because, like,
is, and I
yeah.
think so. That makes me think that she won't, because I think
Mm-hmm.
usually, again, at least in conversations that I've had with people, they, this isn't me judging, by the way. This is
Yeah,
just
I know.
things that I've had. But people who have been like, yep, no, that's not, or they've changed faiths, also depending on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
It is typically because like once it's been like, they've never really put a lot of stock into having. I mean, the definition of faith is going, believing without seeing, right? That's
Yeah.
difficult to do, and it's really easy to do in good and happy times. You're like, oh, of course. But when you
Mm-hmm.
get to these like darker times, that's like when they say like your faith is tested. And I don't mean like you're being put on a test, that's not what I'm saying, but like
Yeah.
that's when belief, I don't know, how do you put it, like,
Well, yeah, your faith is being tested. It's
yeah,
not like
it's
a
when,
right or wrong pass or fail test. It's just a
no,
test.
yes, and like the world is complicated regardless of whether
Mm-hmm.
you believe in faith or not. The world has a lot going on, there's a lot of darkness in it, and however you view your deities, that can be really confronting.
Mm-hmm.
um and I think she has not seen really a lot of the darkness of the
Yeah.
world, and I think this is her like having that like rose colored
Oh,
glasses or that
yeah.
veil ripped away
Yeah.
from
She's
her.
seeing it now.
Yeah, and she's like
all of it all at once, which is so
a
rough.
lot. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think a like good defining part of faith to me, and at least an important part of faith to me, is the ability to be able to wrestle with it and to kind of be mad about it. I have been mad at God multiple times in my life, and I have said probably some unkind things. Some people won't agree with me on that, but I've been like, I am angry and I want to wrestle with it, but there's if you want to look into it in biblical context, there's multiple contexts of that. But like for me, that was some of the like I don't know, more like defining and delicious isn't the right word, but like there's like meat to it. Like that's kind of like the meaty part of faith a little bit that you go through, I guess. And I find that really interesting for her in this process.
I feel like and I think she is going through it, and like just pretending that we don't have any spoilers from Aparna's Instagram, which we both apparently just stalk regardless.
I can't help it; it's all there.
I can't help it; it's all over the place, and I love it.
Yeah,
I think where she is now, she's going through like the first part of that, where it's grief. I think she's going to get angry right now. She's just a little bit like helpless in it, where she's just struggling to like get her bearing. But I do think that she's going to find her way through it, because for her, she was struggling with the concept of belief in the phoenix as she knew it, but she had no issue having faith in like love and in her people and her kingdom. And I think that that's going to be what she realizes. Like, I think that that's the faith that she's going to end up recognizing. And I also think that it's because what they think is the phoenix is not the phoenix. I think that she has faith in the real phoenix. She just doesn't know it.
That was my thought as well. And I think that's a little bit what she is questioning here, of being like, where are you? Because like she didn't technically swear fealty to whatever this other deity is. Oh no, where'd it go? What happened?
I'm here. We're here.
Oh, okay. You disappeared from my screen. I don't know what happened. Come back to me. Why is Google suddenly deciding I need to sign in? Okay, there you are.
I'm still here.
Okay. I forgot my train of thought, but it doesn't necessarily matter.
Do you like my blue light blocking glasses?
I do like the color a lot, actually. Those are cute.
You can see the ring light.
No, I stopped wearing mine for filming because I was like, oh, it's a lot easier to read. It just is so utterly distracting. I stopped.
I found these blue frames after I dyed my hair pink.
I was like, I like the blue.
Kind of funny because it matched my hair before. I have a pink frame somewhere too. I'm sure I'll find them when I change my hair from pink to something else.
I'm sure.
Yep. Anyways, back to Faith. Back to Sirius.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people don't like to talk about struggling with faith because then you seem like you're not a faithful person. But I love hearing people's, clearly I've talked to a lot of people about it. I love hearing people's story about it and where they've come out at the end of it. And to me, that is some of my favorite stories to hear from people, because it shows a lot about them and how they think and kind of their viewpoints. You get a lot about it.
Yeah.
So I am excited to see it for her journey.
I also think, like, again, not judging people who have decided to walk away from it, but I think that there's something to the idea of like keeping your faith through the tests. It makes your faith stronger, you know.
Yes. That's what I was trying to say without saying it earlier. I couldn't think of it's like putting your money where your mouth is a little bit, but like not in a bad. I was trying to think of a better way to put it than that. I was like putting like your feet
like
to the pavement.
It's like firing clay pots. You put them in the fire, and then they come out stronger.
On the inside.
Yes.
And that is a like essential part of having a faith. It just is. It's a part of it. It's again, depending on your faith, it's a promised part of life in the Christian faith. So you are promised that you will struggle. There's just kind of no doubt around that, to be honest with you. So don't be surprised when it comes. But you have things to help get you through it. So I just think it's really fascinating, and I liked that it was like it's kind of bringing that, like when I talked about it earlier, that like thread of faith is kind of woven throughout this, and it kind of pops up in different ways. And I think it's interesting that it only pops up with Alina. It doesn't really pop up with Yasin. It kind of, I think, maybe would have popped up with Verma. She seemed to be a faithful person, but I think it was more, I think hers was a little bit more of a private practice for her. But I think it's interesting that we're mostly seeing it through Alina's eyes.
I agree. I think so too. I will say this is sort of a kind of a messed up view of faith, but we do kind of get the faith of Jodha, the sister that survives in the creation of Robins. She has faith that she has faith in her father, basically.
So that's kind of the complicated part of when you start putting faith in non-deity type things. So like Leo's downfall was faith in himself, which I'm not saying having faith in yourself is a negative, but I think when it's overblown and blown out of proportion to like blind faith, I think is different. I think blind faith in anything is a problem.
I agree. I'm sorry. I got out one of my snack packs, and Joel was like in the kitchen also eating snacks, staring very intensely at me. Because we haven't had dinner yet. I told him I was recording at 7. So he knew this was going to happen. Anyways, let me just open this real quick.
It's fine.
All right. Yeah, no, I think that this book really explores the themes of faith in a very interesting way.
Yes. I thought they're really interesting. I really liked it. So that was like the main like serious note I made, to be honest with you. So that's kind of what I decided to focus on. Most of the rest of my notes are just like, that's interesting, or like, love to see character growth. They weren't like in-depth reviews. So that part I was like, no, I want to talk about this. So I made like a deeper note about it. So
love it.
Yeah, that's all I had. Faith is fun. There you go.
It is fun.
Yeah. All
right. Well, are you ready?
Let's dive. We
dive.
Do look a lot like each other when we do that. That was wild. I didn't like fully get it until we're both up here going. Let's go.
It's killing me. I'm like my winter shade still. I haven't gotten a whole lot of sun.
This is my like I went to the like, I know I look pale, but this is slightly tan for me because I went to the zoo without sunscreen on and was like, give me sun the other day. So I was outside for a couple of hours, so I got a little bit of sun.
You do look you are glowing. So
thank you.
You're welcome. I'm also glowing, but for a very different reason. Hold on. That's my munchies. Ready? You ready to hear the dog crunch?
Mm-hmm. It was more delicate than I expected, actually.
She is a lady, you know?
She is a lady.
She may not act like it whenever anyone else is around, but she is a lady.
She got there pretty good last time I was there.
She did. That's true. Yeah. All right. You ready? Let's dive.
Come on. Red.
I would like to start this section by telling you that Sona means gold.
Okay, good to know.
The Golden Mountain Range.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I did not pick that up. So,
yeah,
good to know.
Which
makes sense when they're mining so much metal. So,
so where do you want to start?
What did I have? I like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of there was there was like it's when Yasin was talking about it. A couple of the things I have are related to Yasin. But it was like, and to blame Samson for all of this, and my note was, I fear that Samson really might have a part of it. I don't think he meant to kill this many people, but I do think he helped. Like, I was like, I don't think he maybe intended this outcome, But I fear that maybe
Can we
he
just
plays a
I
part.
feel like we need to address the fact that Yasin is just a himbo.
You know, you're not. And I think maybe that's what I've been like struggling with. Himbos are fun if they have a Samson, but they need a Samson. Like if the himbo is the one driving the story, it's well, Tamlin, gosh bless him, is a himbo.
Yeah,
Oh,
he is. He is. Yasin is a little more serious and
yeah.
also a little more playful, a little more intelligent. Can you get off?
Yes, I think so. I think,
and also a lot more respectful of like Alina's boundaries.
Well, I'm thinking of like Tamlin in A Court of Thorns and Roses, not Tamlin later. Because Tamlin in A Court of Thorns and Roses,
I think we've addressed this before, but I still hated him in A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yes.
But yes, that's fine.
I will state this. When I am reading a book where that person is supposed to be the love interest, I just go with the fact that they are, for the most part, a likable person. It is very rare for me that if they're supposed to be like the love interest that I don't like them. To be honest with you,
so often, so bad.
Usually they won't be my favorite character. I am chronically someone who picks a side character in everything I watch all the time, but I don't necessarily overly dislike the main character either. So
I do think that like, and we talked about the Vampire Diaries a lot too, but like even when Damon is actually the worst and a monster, the first time I watched it, I was still like, that Damon though, he's so much better than Stefan.
I'm pretty certain I texted you and was like, I know they redeemed this man. I don't know how we get there. I didn't like not Samson, Lord have mercy. I didn't like Stefan all that much, to be honest with you. I think I was more rooting for like a human at that point. But I was like, I don't overly like Stefan. But at this point, I like him a lot better. I didn't like how he treated Caroline. Everything else I probably could have been fine with, but the way that he treated Caroline, I really struggled with in the beginning.
Everyone was so mean to Caroline. It was so annoying.
So that part was probably the worst for me, and just seeing her like grief journey of like being forever 17, which she never wanted to be, kind of thing. Like that was harder. Maybe 16. I think it was 17.
So I want to say 17.
I want to say it's 17 as well. That part I struggled with because I remember being like, how do they redeem it? And they do, in a way. Which made me realize that I am the most gullible person. If you give them like a modicum of attractiveness and like maybe not even feeling guilty about the things that they've done, but they just don't do them anymore, that's fine.
Well, so if you saw Yasin, you know that Yasin's hot. Do you forgive him now?
So I did.
Or is it different in a book versus a TV show?
So it's not. I don't know how to put it. It's not that I don't think Yasin is attractive, because like I make jokes about. I promise in actual reality, being hot is not that much of an attractor. Honestly, hot men are like a red flag for me in real life, like if they're considered traditionally hot. But I do. I
have something to add to that after you finish making your point.
Oh no, I don't know how to put it. How to put this in a way? When I'm reading things and doing it, I'm trying to go with the narrative that the author is telling me. So Aparna is like, this guy sucks, Alina's mad at him, but she is trying to get over it because she has to survive. So the answer is, as a book character, totally fine. I think he's super interesting. If I met this man in real life, I kid you not, I probably would care less. If I died, I would have shot him in the forest and just figured out my own way to go about it. I just can't. I think not only the betrayal of me, but because like the betrayal of myself, I can probably move on from it, and I have. But betraying like my family and the people that I care about and causing their demise, I don't think I could get past that.
Follow-up question. If you, by some miracle, had decided not to shoot him, would you then have shot him at the second opportunity that he gives her in the desert?
No, because it feels... At that point, I think, to be honest with you, if I didn't kill him the first time, I would be like, no, you will live with the sins that you have done, and I will make sure that every day of the rest of your life, you know what you did.
I know you're saying that, I know you're saying that, but
have
I
big
do think
feelings.
that it would be really different if it was actually you. I'm just
Well, I mean,
putting
if
that
I
out
was
there.
having to struggle, so I yes and no, because I have done.
Mhm.
How do I put this?
No, not if it was you, if Yasin just met you in your life, if you were Alina and you had
Well,
just lost every person.
That is fair.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think if I
I
was
think
gonna.
you, I think you, I think if Yasin did all of this mischievery like to you in your life right now, I would help
Yeah.
you murder him and we would bury
Yeah.
the body. But,
Yes. I think
and never get caught.
we would never be caught. We have plenty of ways to
We
not
have
get caught.
so many resources.
Like, we would be fine. That part I'm not worried about. I think I don't know how to put it. I feel Alina's rage so much in this book. I feel her burning, like, because I don't.
You feel her burning like a
I
queen,
do.
like a burning queen.
I do. Well, I understand. My burning is a little more on the cold side. I'm not necessarily like a fiery person. I am much more of like a cold burning person, I would say.
Mhm.
I can have a little fire at times, but in general, I'm more of like I hold a grudge. I do not let things go. Like, I may not get you back now, but I'll get you back later. Like, that's kind of more. If I lost everything and I'm trying to get out of the woods, I don't know. I think at some point I would probably be like leaving my. I think if I'm her, to be honest with you, but
Mhm.
also I'm not this character, but if it was me, I would be like, I'm gonna go with the man who clearly was going to kill me into the kingdom that is trying to kill me to where I don't know what's happening. I think I would be anxious about that part, which she doesn't seem to. So, I mean, clearly, I think there's some relationship building, bonding there that I also just don't struggle with cutting people out of my life as a rule.
Yeah.
So that is just something I've had to do, and that sounds cold, but it is.
It does not sound cold to me. We are very similar in that regard.
I will state, when I have done this, I have stated the reasons why beforehand, or they have known why. It's not like I just suddenly decide I'm not talking to this person anymore. Like, it was very much like for my mental health, and honestly, like, they may not even necessarily been a bad person. They just weren't good for my relationship.
Yeah.
With them. To answer your question, I do talk about, I think he's interesting for character growth. I can see that Alina is trying to work through it, and I think some of it is because she's also in her mind been in a romantic relationship with him in a way
she has been, I think so,
that I am not necessarily feeling for him. So I think that's a little bit different moving forward.
Okay, so back to your comment about not trusting hot guys. They're a red flag.
Yeah.
So we have a group chat for our book club on Instagram, and someone sent a reel of this guy talking in like a really deep voice and like
a nice voice.
The woman's reaction, right? And like I'm watching it and I kid you not, I can't even hear his voice because his face is giving me such an ick, and he is what you would call traditionally hot, I think.
Yes. So like, for like Western Americanized beauty standards,
yeah,
there is this thing, and this has been a recurring thing in my life that I've had happen. You and I have similar taste in men, not completely, but so. Similarly. Yeah. But like sometimes they'll be like, people are like, that man, there is a girl at my work, gosh bless her, she'll show me this man, and I'm like, personally, not into it. I gotta be honest,
not so much. Yeah.
Like, and I have said this, I'm like, I understand. So like, good case in point, someone that I understand that is objectively attractive is Chris Hemsworth. I am fully aware that he's an attractive man. I watched the entirety of the Thor movies and said, not the attractive Nordic blonde. I want the Chaos Goblin Loki. This is who I like. Same. I like Tom Hiddleston. That is who I came out of. That's a really good case in point of like, this guy. So like, himbos, and that's probably why the like Yasin thing. Himbos are just not my. I think they're interesting and can be interesting if they're done in like a certain way, because I think you could kind of argue that Mr. Darcy is a himbo, but like not.
I do. He could be argued as one. I could see it.
And he is actually not my favorite Jane Austen love interest. I like him a lot, and I love the movies, and I will read those books. Mr. Knightley's actually my personal favorite. I think he's a little less in that himbo category. He's a little bit more like sparring in the way that he communicates. So
I think it's because it's the first Jane Austen book I read.
Yeah.
Mr. Darcy is it for me. Like I love her leading men.
I do too.
The Persuasion is one of my least favorite books on earth. I do not like it. I don't like any of the characters in it.
I didn't finish it. I was
said what I said. Yeah.
No, I don't like it either. You are not alone in that. There are people that like it. I think they're lying to themselves, or they don't like Jane Austen books. I think people who are not big Jane Austen fans, if you're more into the like Brontes, I think you. Much I know you like the Brontes, but I think if you're going into it, it's more of like it's not really a gothic, but it's kind of more in that vein.
Yeah.
I think it's different.
I mean, she does the parody of a gothic novel, Northanger Abbey, which is one of my favorites. It's so
Northanger Abbey is also one of my favorites. Yeah. I can't remember is Mansfield Park also one of hers?
Yes.
That one I remember reading and really liking.
I liked Mansfield Park a lot. But yeah, so Pride and Prejudice was the first book of hers that I read, so Mr. Darcy is like
that is fair.
You know, like little 12 or 13-year-old me was like, oh my God.
So funnily enough, maybe not funnily enough, because again, I am chronically second character person. In the 2005 Pride and Prejudice movie, Mr. Darcy all the way, Matthew McFadden is my Mr. Darcy in my head. That was the first one I watched. I think his depiction of Mr. Darcy I really love, and it's a little different than in the book. In the books, I adore Mr. Bingley so much. I adore him and the way he does things and goes about it, because he's not as silly as he is in the 2005 version. I love him in that movie too. It's the ginger. Yes. But I really liked Mr. Bingley. Like if I was choosing Darcy or Bingley, I would 100% would have probably chosen Bingley.
So I love Colin Firth, but I also saw the 2005 adaptation first, and so Matthew McFadden is my Darcy. But and I love Colin Firth, but he plays Darcy a lot more stoically and a lot more arrogantly, which I do think is probably a more accurate portrayal. But that's fine. But Mr. Bingley in that adaptation is also a more accurate portrayal, and I think that he does a really good job. He's so cute. Yeah,
I adore him in that. So that was who I liked at the time. Like when I read it, I will also state I read Pride and Prejudice for the first time at 17 or 18, so I was a little older.
Yeah, no, that's
when
fair.
I read it. But
anywho, what were we even? Oh yes, the reel with the guy with the voice, and so I said to the group, I'm gonna be so honest with you, because we know they don't watch this. So if they want to hear my real thoughts, they'll have to watch this. Not even if I hadn't seen his face, his voice gave me the ick too. I was
really?
It sounded so forced. It made me upset.
He sounds like an audiobook narrator, which is fine, but he wasn't doing an audiobook.
I'm never attracted to an audiobook voice either. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just...
It does. It does. I can't say the same personally.
That's fair.
I do understand it. There's been some that I'm
attracted to like Hosier's voice is the most attractive thing about him to me. It's different. It's not to say that I'm not attracted to voices. I think that overly deep voice. Is the guy who plays what's his name in Quicksilver, Kingfisher, that voice, it makes me, I hate it so much. It sounds so forced. It sounds so forced. It sounds completely unreal. It just takes me completely out of the book. I'm just this isn't hot to me at all.
Oh, if anything, it puts me more in this isn't a human. I think that's my thing about it is they're other. So because real people don't speak that way. I'm fully aware of that. But again, I've also been listening to audiobooks for a solid 7 or 8 years.
Much longer than me.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, and at this point, I'm just happy that they're having men and women reading their own parts, because that is a vast improvement. I'm taking it.
Yeah, it is. It is. So. Anyways, yes, I didn't want to be quite so harsh in the group chat because everyone else was clearly quite affected by the voice, but no, the whole thing gave me the ick.
No, his face was weird. I would agree with you on that. I understood the voice thing because, again, I listen to audiobooks. I'm fairly certain I think he's a very prolific audiobook narrator. So I think he's done audiobooks that I recognized.
Sorry to this man out there. It's nothing against you. It's just,
but I get what you mean. I like people who are interesting about something that's more, in my experience, men who are considered traditionally attractive often don't have a lot of personality to back it up because they've never had to.
Yeah.
So I tend to like people more based on
more relatably attractive.
I guess so. I don't know. Like, if they're traditionally attractive and they're actually an interesting person, I will be attracted to you. Like, physical attractiveness is dictated by how you talk to me, which I know is the most like woman thing to say, but it's true. Like the way that you communicate with me and how you talk about the world and view the world, like that to me is so much more attractive than if you have six pack. Honestly, six pack, red flag, because I like to eat and I don't want to go to the gym every day. Like,
correct.
I'm also not 18. If you ask 18-year-old me, things would be very different answers. But
that's so fair.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Oh
yeah, Yasin. I was asking you if you thought Yasin was hot again, or something like that.
I don't know. I think so. I also did this thing, which is probably a lot.
Now that it's confirmed that Samson's dead.
Yeah.
You know.
I will also state, I think it's because I could kind of tell he was supposed to be like, when it's someone else's man, I have a hard time finding them attractive. And in my mind, Yasin's been Alina's man this whole time. Samson was the free one. I know they were engaged. It was an arranged marriage. Wasn't the same thing.
Yeah. No,
so I think that's a lot of it. Like, even with, like, I think that's why I always pick the side character, is usually the main character has, like, a love interest. And I'm like, that's someone else's man. I don't need them. They're preoccupied. I'll take that guy over there. So I think that's a lot of it, to be honest.
That's so interesting. I mean, it's so interesting that you've built these boundaries in your mind so, like, firmly.
I don't mean to. It's just kind of how...
It's not a bad thing. It's just interesting.
I think it's because I know I'm not the main... in my head, I am not the main character. I have never been the main character. It just isn't... Like, it's just not me. I'm okay with that. I like my normal life. I don't need to be the main character. So I think I'm just like, well, I wouldn't do that. So, like, that's not me. So I just can't, like, picture
it. That's fair. No, that's fair. Okay. What do you think about this whole... Do we think they're going to find the ore?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. There's no way.
I can't remember.
If not in this book, because, again, I am... I guess kind of... predicting a spoiler. I don't think Yasin's making it out of this book. So, if he is, we don't see a lot of him later.
We have no idea what's happening with him, apparently. So.
We don't. I've not seen anything with him about... I don't see a whole lot about the next book, but a little bit I've seen, he is not around. So, either he finds it and dies, or he fakes his death to, like, let everyone move on, and so he can actually be free and do what he wants, which is also fine. If he does that and, like, moves on, honestly fair. But I'm thinking, even if he doesn't find it, or they don't find it, I do think that Alina will try to find it because she wants to. So even if Yasin is hesitant,
she needs it.
I think she will.
Interesting. So. I agree with you. I have no recollection of I don't remember. No, I do remember. I just don't remember, like, I remember vaguely what happens to Yasin, but not specifically, which is frustrating.
Yeah. Which makes me think maybe he doesn't die. I don't know, because I feel like you would remember.
Well, I can't remember if he... Like, that's the thing. I can't remember.
It's fair. So, I don't know. There's just... We don't hear about him at all in the second book. So either he ends up, like... He's not the main person. No. It doesn't seem like as much in the second one, which I'm okay with. I do think his perspective is interesting, but
I am really sad because I love him.
I know, and I don't dislike him. I think I've just gotten to the point where I think I like him more than I liked Leo. That's saying something. I'm so happy that we don't have a Leo perspective at the end of this book, but
I think here's what I think, okay? Here's what I think. Alina is an extremely vibrant, bold, interesting character. So is Samson, even though we've never gotten his point of view. Yeah. He's also like, he's very grabbing. He grabs your attention. Yeah. Leo, for better or for worse, grabs your attention. We have a lot of perspective from Yasin, and his main goal is to not grab attention.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And so you don't really know him. Like, that's the thing. It's hard to be interested in a character when he gives you literally nothing.
Well, so I think the issue is, again, I have stated this multiple times, if I was a character outside of the betrayal part of it, if I had the way his brain works is also the way my brain works. Like, Yasin and I are not that different. And it is hard to like yourself reflected back at you in a book. So I think that's also a lot of it. The way that he, because like, I don't mind being the center of attention. I'm also not trying. I know that sounds funny. With having a podcast, I'm not trying to be the main character, but like, I'm really not like trying to be the center of attention unless it's like a certain day that it's supposed to be. In general, I'm okay letting other people
like your
shine.
birthday,
like
coming
my
up
birthday.
next week.
Yes. So I understand the need to like want to stay behind and do these things. I just struggle with the moral clearly I'm a very defined, clearly moral, straight person, and I think his like flip-floppiness of it a little bit is the struggle. Like, even if I don't agree with it, you at least stuck to it.
Yeah. And the other thing is, for these like morally gray characters that we do love, they're only morally gray for the greater good. He's morally gray for his own good.
Which I don't like selfish motivations, which is a lot of it. Like, if you're doing it for a bigger purpose, even if I maybe don't agree. So, like, Leo was doing it for a selfish purpose. He wasn't doing it for a greater good. And so, like, if you are doing it for, like, you have to do the dirty stuff that no one else wants to do so everyone else can live a good life,
Leo
that's different.
Morally gray. Leo was morally black. But that's
he was correct. Yeah, he was not in that gray
very correct.
By any means. I think in his mind he was. I think he was
just murder all of the priests in the fire order. That's fine. That's a very morally gray area.
You know. For some people, in a weird way, maybe. Depending on your definition.
Okay. So we have been talking about this for a long time because obviously we had to go and compare all of our favorite characters and everything we've ever read or seen, because that's what we do. But I want to talk about there's a lot of trigger warning, real world parallels that we're confronted with again in this section between the chaos and the ransacking of a city, propaganda going on, false narratives, and rounding people up, and climate change.
Yeah.
All of it happens in these 3 chapters.
Yep.
I appreciate how she writes about it. I think it's really interesting. I do think that the whole rounding people up thing is similar, but I think it's also meant to more reflect. To me, it feels a little bit more like struggles between Asian countries than the European Western countries that most people come to mind.
That's fair.
I'm pretty sure things like that happened during the partition of India and Pakistan on both sides. And that's why people migrated across borders. Like, my dad's family had to migrate back into India because they were Hindu. So that whole thing is really interesting. And I think that she captures, I mean, I obviously have not lived through it personally. Even I'm very blessed to have still not lived through it today. But I think that she captures that feeling of unease where, like, people are looking at each other like, oh no, what do we do? And there's this, like, creeping unease and, like, a lack of safety that exists that's causing friction in the book where, like, where she's been feeling this, obviously, since her city was ransacked and she's been on the run, but you see it happening in the greater context too, which is really interesting. But then what I really want to talk about is the environmental thing. How interesting, because I'm just going to keep talking here. I'm just not going to let you talk at all. Sorry.
Go for it. No, you're fine.
Because India, okay, when like industrialism hit India, India's beautiful, lush, gorgeous lands, I saw it happen in the 90s in my lifetime. I saw the beautiful, lush, forested lands turn into like extremely arid and dry mountains. And like you saw the deforestation making such a huge effect on the landscape of India in real time. And like she reflects that so clearly here too, where it's like bushfires, unseasonable bushfires because of the mining. They're cutting things down, they're not respecting the nature. In contrast, in the last decade, I have also seen the area around my hometown, and a lot of places in India make a very conscious effort to replant a lot of trees that have been deforested. Mm-hmm. And it has brought so much life back into the area. And I know that on a global scale, it's a little scary, but I do think that it's important. I think that that's probably one of the reasons that she's writing about it, because I'm sure that Aparna has, like me, visited India her whole life. And she probably saw a lot of the devastation happening over her lifetime. And I've seen it come back, which has been really incredible. But it's very interesting that she wrote that. She like chose to write that in here. It's like the evils of industrial capitalism, basically.
Yeah, no, I think it's fun. I thought it was interesting as well. I didn't connect the like brush fires with the mining, to be honest with you, because by the time I got to this part of the book, I was like, I don't know.
So much had happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, my brain was kind of like swimming with all of the like trying to piece everything together. I also mentioned a little bit about rounding up people.
Oh my gosh, that scene is like, it's just like, heart stopping.
I wanted it was slightly different. Well, so if I'm comparing it to any sort of Western ideal, it would be the internment of Japanese people in the 1940s.
That makes a lot of sense too. Yeah,
that was the closest context that I had for it, because the U.S. doesn't like to talk about it, but it was something that we did during World War II. Was we rounded up all of the Japanese people and put them in a camp, and they basically didn't ever get their spaces and belongings back. Really, some of them did, a lot of them didn't. They rebuilt themselves; they're fine, but there was a lot of rebuilding that had to happen for doing nothing. They didn't.
Yeah, just existing.
So, but something that I thought was really interesting. So it's talking about, so it's like King Farns has done a statement. All of Ravani within Jinthar have to report to that. I'm like, saying not bringing your belongings is terrifying, because they're like, don't bring your belongings. And I'm like, oh, that means they're not planning on you living. Like, there's no way. And then the other thing, she was like, to learn it, she was, she talks about, like, literally, like, 4 or 5 pages later, she's like, at least the Ravani knew when to give and when to beg. And I said, I understand. She was taught that the Jinthari are bad, but she's a bit judgmental when she knew that her people also were not perfect. Yeah. Like, she's judging all of Jinthar by, like, these bad people that she's seeing. And I fully understand that she was raised by Leo and others around her to hate the other people. I understand that. Yeah. But, like, she's going through this thing where she's like, yeah, like, these people are just, like, super normal people and they're totally fine. She's like, but the moment that she has never been confronted with cultural differences, and I think that shows a lot in this, of like, well, they don't look like the way my culture is reflecting, and that is bad. And I think that's something that's hard to go through as well, and I think she's doing a good job with it, and I think she's realizing it and checking it to a degree, but you can kind of see it creep up a little bit sometimes in that journey, which I'm not saying is supposed to go away overnight. That's the whole point of that journey, is you understand that it's something that isn't right, and you catalog and then you move forward. But
interestingly, I think that she's more prepared for it because Yasin looks Janthari.
That's true.
And she's like, oh, you're frozen. Okay, you're back. And that was one of the, I think that was like one of the harder hurdles to get over for a lot of people, and just like realizing he's Arhasen, he's Genthari, like, and then realizing no, he's just Yasin. I think that, but then he betrays her, but that's okay. She's working on it.
She's trying. I will state, like at the very beginning, when she's like, "Yeah, I punched him," I was like, "Yeah, you should."
Yeah.
I was like,
no, that was great. That was great. It was amazing. Yeah. I do appreciate, the ending of this section is ominous, to say the least.
Yes, it is.
So,
I was like, okay.
Oh, no.
Things are happening. I don't know what's going on, but it's fine. There's just, it's like this, you can feel the looming thing that's coming.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% certain what it is, but like you can feel it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Yasin dying. I don't think, there's a second book, so I don't think Alina dies. But like,
well, we know that she doesn't die. It's called The Burning Queen.
Well, yeah, but I'm not trying to, go too spoilery. But there's something coming up, right? Like, I knew Leo was going to die. I knew there was no way that man was making it out of this book. I would have been upset if he made it out of this book, I'll be honest. So I got a good sense that he wasn't going to make it. So, yeah. When you do that much destruction, you're just, the karma will come back in. Well, maybe karma may not be the right word, but that's the Western viewpoint of it. But the karma comes back and gets you. But your actions have consequences.
The Western viewpoint. But it's also the Eastern viewpoint.
Okay, cool.
Westerners like karma to be a little bit more immediate.
Yeah. That was kind of the vibe that I was. That's why I said that I was like, it's not
pretty funny.
The reincarnation part of it. But more of like your actions have consequences, and he made a lot of actions that were gonna pretty clearly have very immediate consequences.
Yeah.
For him.
For sure.
But, yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think I had a whole lot, to be honest with you.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else, really. We are only going to have 2 more episodes in this book.
I was looking at that today. I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah.
I think the way that we're going to break it up is 3 chapters next time, and then the remaining 3 an epilogue for our last.
That makes sense.
Which, if I'm looking at the page count, the next 3 chapters, I feel like it's a pretty even amount. So
yeah, I think so too.
And then sad news, but good news. We're going to take a little bit of a break.
We need what?
We need a break.
Yes, we need time.
We need time. So we'll have a little bit of a break before we start our next season. But that just means that we're going to be able to give you so much more in the next season. I feel like we did pretty well this season, but we did have a few breaks because things have been happening.
Yes. Life is bumpy. So, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see you next time for chapters 38 through 40.
Yes.
Math.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.